Hello, friends. Uh, Atmo-Gita Study and Response. So I'm going to I'm going to look over I'm going to look over my emails and download and open my Word documents, and I'm going to hmm, I'm going to combine several lessons from the lessons concerning the Bhagavad Gita, led by our fearless leader Scott Tatesworth. What lesson are we on? 25 or so? It's two lessons. I'm sort of behind in, so that's 4 weeks of lessons. Well, it's a lesson that runs for 2 weeks. And the Atmo-Gita Study, I think, I'm actually in verse 25, or maybe 26. So I owe two lessons in that one too, 4 weeks. So I'm going to mash them together, combine them into one long lesson. That's a total of 4 lessons. A little bit or half of it will be on the Bhagavad Gita, and the other half will be on the Atma-Padesha Shatakam. Just drop. Oh, oh, didn't work. Let's see. Hi. Is there? Hmm. Wow. Right. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Is there any? Hmm. What's the name of this grocery store? What's the name of the grocery store? Yeah. Ideal? Dia? It's new. Never been here before. Ideal. Fruit basket. Wow. Is it like fresh market or something like that? It's a what? Super what? Supermarket? Mm. Mm. Oh. Oh, is this for like an eating area? Ah, I wonder if I can plug my phone. I don't think I can. It's not allowed. Okay. Mm. see. See, wow, looks pretty nice. Customer service. Steel food basket. Maybe I can buy something to drink while I walk. Like maybe coconut water. It'll keep me alive for a little while. Hmm. Well, that could be it. Ah, it's super organized. Looks like. Looks like. Wow. What haven't I? Oh, that's pretty cool. Newton de Guanábana. Wow. Ah, sour salt. Maybe I can get a smaller one. Oh, wait. My pants are falling down. Moving. Hmm. Aloe vera. Guanábana. Well, water, sour salt, pulp, sugar, antioxidant, preservative, 75 of that one. That was 789. That one's 12. So okay, at least I'm going to go with this. Coconut water. Hmm. Hmm. Take this. And I'm trying to find a place to plug my phone. Oh, they got. No, I'd like to get that. That rice probably pretty good. No, I like this. It looks pretty empty. Mm. Mm. Right. Hmm. Hmm. Even that. Pizza. We're gonna get this. Where can I get this? Where can I buy this? Where can I buy this? Yeah. Over there. Hmm. Thank you. Hmm. 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 Mm, hello. Hola. Mhm, mm, mhm, mm. Oh, okay, ya. ¿Cuánto tiempo ha estado abierto este almacén? ¿Un año? Wow, está bueno. Mm, ok, mm, mm, mm. Okay. Mm, okay, but I bought something to drink. Mm. But I'm looking for a place to sit down and get my phone charged. Can't find that. What is this? Oh, that's pretty cool. Mm, 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 mm. So, so I'm going to just kind of walk around, see if I find a restaurant that I can sit and order something to eat and charge my phone at the same time. Stay there for an hour or so. But in the meantime, you keep walking, looking at what stores there are, what food places there are. In the meantime, you could share the screen. Hmm. You could share the screen. We could share the screen. Am I sharing? Yeah. So, okay, so I'm going to go to my emails. Where are they? There they are. Hmm. Okay, so I'm going to start with Scott Hatesworth. Hmm. There's two responses. Holy shit. What is this? Let me get this. Wow. I'm at lesson 26. And that's the beginning of chapter 9. Hmm. So there's Aaron. Neil. Jennifer. Hmm. Mm. That's a lot to read. Wow. Yes, Raja Yoga, Raja Yoga, Raja Yoga. Hmm. I like to pronounce it like that. Raja, 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 Raja Yoga. Hmm. Raja, maybe out of that word comes the word royal. Royal, maybe royal used to be pronounced rojo, rojo. It's got a Y. I think a Y is pronounced like a J. Hmm. Well, it is Spanish. It is. Yeah. Hmm. So, what is Raja Yoga? The royal yoga? Is it the yoga that is practiced by kings? Or is this suggesting that it's the king of all the yoga? Hmm. So Rakesh is one of the students. He says, Royal Science and Crown and Secret. Love the title. Hmm. Where did he? Oh, I found a restaurant that might work out. Oh, shoot. I gotta eat fast. Because the car, the car will be ready in a half an hour. Hmm. Oh no, it's not a restaurant. It's a bakery and coffee place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't figure it out. Mm. That's a Colombian coffee. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Says Colombian coffee. Says drive through. Mecatos. Mhm. Okay. Mm. No, I don't think it's great. Mm. Mm. Ugh. Uh-huh. Oh. Mm. Hey. Ah, I think I found a good spot. Um, let's see. Wait a minute. Mm. 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 Ang bata presente, punto fra, porta che vuoi la che devo veramente cantare la mia. Ayuda a Silver. Ayuda a Silver. Con un valor ellos tienen el programa de actividades. Mira, si quisieran un programa, sí que podemos, este, y así no enfatizar sobre que yo, para eso para usar los gusto, claro. Sí, estoy en baño, tendría, claro, no quiero ir al chat de noche para que se vea la iluminación. Pero una que te plato fácil, que no cuesta todo disfrutar esas canciones de la persona. Y esa canción es canción de Navidad, para llorar. Y que tienen con un artista así. Yo tengo la sustancia y es una visita aquí. Ahorita empezamos a empezar cuando tenía ahorita ya con este, familia empezó a planificar los viajes así. ¿Cuántos sales o machos? Mira, claro, que paga mensual a la suscripción. O sea, por lo menos en mi caso, si yo quiero ir, yo no tengo la suscripción. Bueno, pues yo puedo tener paso, vamos, yo, ya, a uno le da, pues, uno o los bancos de cada que tienen. Pagamos, pagan $1 mensuales, $20, $20. Por persona, ¿no? Y tienes sí, ¿no? Debo tener un día de no me voy a echar. Mm. Oh, let me see something. Okay. Mecatos. This is read it.
Lesson 26. Chapter 9, Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga verses 1 to 10. Wonderful work, everyone. I especially commend Rakesh's this time. In the last few lessons he's really caught on, after a life of being close to the Gita but not so much its philosophy. It's a most exciting response, and I've put a lot of general interest into my reply. Aaron. When to give full trust and when to be more discerning. Incredibly important questions in so many aspects of life, as beautifully conveyed in the commentary in this lesson. On this particular subject, two instances of giving over to full trust come to mind, with very different outcomes, and collectively I think a lesson in line with the readings and commentary here. The first one that came to mind was coincidentally in India. About 8 years ago I was in Varkala in Kerala in South India on, as it happened, the third birthday I have had in that very place. I had just arrived and had gone straight to the beach for some body surfing before settling into my accommodations. I remember very clearly taking the first wave and having a lovely ride. The sun glistening on the water surface and wave-launched droplets, the air a soft kiss teasing the fronds of eyelashes and coconut palms alike. Even more clearly, I remember standing in this place that had been so much a part of the formation of who I am, just feeling a magical moment of beauty and full-circledness, as another wave approached and, even though my experience told me this was not a wave to catch, that it would be dangerous, I remember making a conscious decision to just trust the universe and go with the flow. A terrible decision. The wave proceeded to pick me up, point me straight downward head first, and break in such a way, in very shallow water, as to drive me headfirst into very luckily the sand, instead of rocks, just under the water. I felt my neck crunch as my head slammed into the ground, and needless to say the remainder of my week or so left in India was of a very different itinerary and vibe than if I had trusted my expertise instead of trusting in some vague and vain idea that the universe was looking out for me. That instance of trust contrasts very sharply with another time I gave myself over to something, coincidentally, in another act of riding a wave I could not control. In this case, though, I chose to put my trust in an expert martial artist, my teacher, who was going to use me in a demonstration of how to execute a particularly circuitous throw, something I had never been on the other end of before. I knew that if I did not fall correctly, I would not only have my ego bruised but would probably get very seriously injured. Pressed against his back, my right arm firmly in his control as he described how to load me up and position himself before the explosive throw, quite freaked out, I decided to put my trust in his expertise. He knew how to execute the throw correctly. I knew all I could do was let my body to go, something my instincts told me was insane and must be resisted, and to trust where the forces acting on me would take me, at his expert guidance. I knew roughly that I would need to allow for a sort of somersault in the air, and that the arm he was not pulling on would be the one I needed to allow to whip around and smack the floor to help break my fall. I can't quite remember how, relatively advanced student, I had barely ever been thrown before, and never by someone so tall and advanced and with an injury I either had or had feigned due to fear of such throws. In any case, I gave myself over to his expertise, and landed a beautiful fall befitting of my rank. To everyone else it was the expected outcome. To me, on the inside, I was all excitement for having done what I was supposed to, and for not having died. In the case of the martial arts fall, I put my trust in a person with decades of experience, who people I knew and respected. And I put my trust in what I knew intellectually about executing a safe fall, and what I had seen others do many times. There's a reason knowledge, past experience, training, etc. involved in that decision. As scared as I was, it was trust well placed. Trusting away my experience told me was dangerous to instead contain a universal flow I should turn my fate over to because of a silly vibe I had? Not so wise. Lesson learned. Scott, thanks, Aaron. This just arrived as I was preparing to mail out what I had, and needs no further comment from me. Waves and weaves. Anil.
Trust is a message to ponder over in this verse. Disciples of the Absolute should not have any doubt about Him and His capabilities and what He directs us to do. One has to follow blindly His directions with full faith in Him. The Guru has highlighted that a similar trust exists between a father and a child, a leader and a soldier, and between the husband and wife. Remember, a true Guru would never betray his disciple. Imagine a father asking his small child, who does not know how to swim, to jump into the pool. He may initially be reluctant, but then, because of the faith that he has in his father and that he would not allow anything wrong to happen to him, he just jumps into the pool. Same applies to us in our relationship with the Absolute. The moment you have an element of doubt, it would imply that you are expecting your judgment to be different or better than His, and you consider yourself to be a different entity. True knowledge is all about seeking the truth. It is seen that most religions try to amplify the fear of unknown and preach that if you do not do a thing right, the gates of heaven shall not open for you. This is totally misleading because, on the contrary, Gita is urging us to unravel the mystery of the unknown. Wisdom is considered to be superior to knowledge, but superiority is not to be equated with exclusive wittiness. It has to be very objective. The question arises as to how to verify whether it is really wise to do what we perceive to be right. Whenever we are confronted with a situation, a few options get generated as solutions. Then, we are sitting on the horns of dilemma and wondering which path to choose. If you are correctly in tune with the Absolute, who is the one who directs us what to do, you shall land up doing things correctly. For this, one has to surrender oneself to Him, and then there is no confusion in decision making. Another interesting thing to ponder is about infinity. Infinity is identical with the Absolute. Each individual is merely just a number, and all numbers add to become infinity. And these numbers are all the living beings in this world. It dawns on you that this shall continue to remain a mystery. We as human beings may go out of balance, but the Absolute maintains the overall balance in the nature. Each thing is defined by certain limits, may it be sea, land or air. Even our physical lifespan has been limited to certain number of years. Therefore, in all our wisdom we should tune in with the Absolute to maintain that balance for our own existence. As we are continuing to evolve as a human race, our arena of knowledge continues to grow. Earlier we thought that there is no limit to atmosphere, but now we know that there is no air beyond stratosphere. However, in the olden times, our rishis were aware of these things, and mentally they could travel to various celestial bodies, which we are now trying to achieve physically. We are not able to fully decipher what is written in our scriptures and understand their actual meaning. This was revealed by Krishna at various stages, and those who could connect with him have put it in a form that they could comprehend. It has been clearly stated that Krishna created this world, and when an individual cosmic cycle comes to an end, it crunches and merges into him to be recreated in yet another form as yet another cosmic cycle. Therefore, the existence of all living beings starts from nothing and ends into nothing finally. In a childish manner, humans have tried to conceptualize what the Supreme Divine looks like without actually comprehending its limitless powers. It is He who puts a thought in our brain, and we think these to be our own thoughts. If that was so, why are we not able to control our own thoughts and think in the manner we desire to think at a particular moment? These mysteries continue to prevail, and maybe, by going into the depth of the messages given in Gita, we may get answers to some of our questions.
Scott, your point about trust and respect of the Guru is well taken, Anil, and was also an exercise back at the beginning of Chapter 2, for Lesson 4. In the interim, Krishna has gotten our respect also. He's more than a charioteer, now. Many Westerners are at a disadvantage to Indians, in considering ourselves to be superior to the teacher, who only shares knowledge at their prerogative. While this blocks unanticipated information from being delivered, there is also an advantage, which is not to be manipulated by false prophets. Oddly, the West is also prone to docilely follow demagogues, unquestioningly, which means it's a tricky subject. The Gita begins with doubting everything, and works, with great care, to full trust. If you have a new teacher every year, or every semester, that kind of legitimate trust never has a chance to develop. As you say, many people consider wisdom superior to mere knowledge, but the Gita teaches us to integrate them, honoring both for the essential roles they play in our life. Your point about knowing which path to choose is also germane. This is where deep contemplation, to listen to our better judgment, and ideally the inspiration of the Absolute, is needed. By this point in the study, Krishna has taught us the required skills. As you have put so well, Anil, therefore, in all our wisdom we should tune in with the Absolute to maintain that balance for our own existence. Detour. Dear Scott and friends, metaphysics is the attempt to understand the infinity beyond human experience. As Kant observed, such reasoning is futile because it uses categories, space, time, causality, substance, etc., which are meaningful only with respect to experience and observation. These categories are tools of our thinking, they are not laws to which reality and what is beyond it are forced to adhere. Still, I cannot stop myself to use all kinds of theories to speculate about the nature of the Absolute. Such speculations are useful exercises to stretch the brain and imagine the unimaginable. But that's what they are. There is a danger of being too much in love with my own theories and dismissing everyone else's. I must remind myself again and again that nothing definite can be said and any insight gained is provisional and will at some stage become obsolete. The challenge is to be both bold with our thinking and humble at the same time. Scott, lovely sentiment, Dieter. Tough training for egos. Hyro. Jennifer. Dear Scott, dear fellow students. Have you ever trusted when you should have doubted? How did it work out? There has been a big internet scam my family and I fell for, but I believe we are talking more about relationships with people who matter to us. As I have probably mentioned a few times, my mother's perspective of life and the world was adopted, quite naturally, during my early childhood, without doubt. As children we can't doubt our parents the way we can later on in life, so I can't really blame myself for letting her view of life, filled with anxiety and apocalyptic thoughts, dictate my sense of reality. But I would say it has a huge impact on me and my siblings. Luckily for me, I realized the burden which her view of life had been for me during my early teens. Before, I was myself troubled by nightmares of war, constantly on the lookout for danger of war. Always careful not to fall into bad books anywhere, as it could not just endanger me, but the whole family could be in trouble and get deported. I remember always fearing that my father would not see the danger early enough and we could leave Germany too late and therefore all get deported. I don't know that it is a good example, though, as I didn't really have a choice as a child whether I wanted to trust or not. However, I feel I made that choice later on not to follow in her footsteps, and that was very liberating. Unfortunately, my brother and sister seem to have taken the bigger hit. And of course there have been situations in relationships where I should not have trusted, but on the other hand there have been too many situations where I didn't trust and caused great damage. E.g., my husband and I didn't plan our firstborn child, and his initial reaction to my pregnancy was not positive. For me there was no doubt of having my child, and I was going to raise him alone if necessary. But his initial reaction made me very doubtful of whether he was going to try and give me the abortion pill, RU486, which isn't legally available in Germany, but most things with the right connections are in India. My paranoia got the better of me. And the fact that I was not just responsible for myself but for another life made it even worse. I know I caused a lot of damage in our relationship, but luckily my patient husband is still sticking it out with me. Should I have trusted? I had seen things working in India which made me very doubtful at the time, and I didn't know him that well. What I mean is, isn't trust a very complex and fragile state which we only reach after we have found proof of to trust? Depending on the earliest relationships and experiences along the way and how trustworthy they turned out to be, we are able to trust more easily or not at all, like a lot of my patients. The sentence on transparency, honesty and mutual respect in relationships is what creates this trust, in any relationship, marriage, therapy, guru-disciple. It is very difficult, though, to be totally honest. At times the risk of hurting someone or losing their trust will make me avoid being honest about my thoughts. I admire Irvin Yalom, a psychoanalyst and author and Stanford professor who wrote case reports where he highlights the importance of honesty even if it is painful and can risk a breaking point of the relationship in therapy. He sees it as a main responsibility of the shrink to be honest, and I agree, but it takes a huge amount of courage and, of course, depends also on how sick the patient is in timing and phrasing, which for me has a lot to do with intention. For some this could be a toxic overdose. Share how you understand the basis of existence. Foo. Small task. Well, I really love the comparison of 0 and the rest of the numbers and infinity being maybe closer to 0 but still not 0, nor is infinity all the numbers together but beyond. What seems like a paradox only makes sense in this cryptic way of describing it, as it is beyond explanation or understanding, and that is the nature of the absolute. I always felt that poetry is closest to describing that which is beyond. I feel science, which can only have a limited by the methods, understanding, has the possibility if we let it invoke the same awe and premonition. Gulp from the glass of natural science will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass God is waiting for you. Poetry has a way of invoking that which we cannot express without naming it. Like love, which cannot be totally described by words but experienced. Has the Gita helped you in any way to act more freely? Yes and no. I have allowed myself more freedom to choose but still struggle with the wisdom part, whether it is aligned with my dharma. The moral side is still very hard to handle. If my freedom of choice hurts another, e.g., my brother is in a suicidal state at the moment, it is devastating to be helpless as a sister, as I cannot be helpful as a therapist in his case, being too close as a family member. My helplessness, amongst many other things, makes me angry, and that anger is not good for our relationship, so I have presently kept a distance but feel I should be there for him. Is my impulse to keep a distance in sync with my dharma, which seems ironical, as I spend my days helping patients like him? And even if it is better for both of us that we keep a distance, is it right for me to put my boundaries first when he is in such a critical state? I will have to live with the fact I withdrew myself should he choose to leave this life. Can I still say that I acted according to my dharma and chose wisely? Yes, Scott. I am aware that I used the word struggle a lot, and the conflict with my brother is one of those struggles. I am sure we would get far further in a face-to-face setting. Thank you for your trust and support. Wishing you all a nice weekend. Kind regards, Jennifer. Scott, that's right, Jennifer, the trust issue is not only about relationships, but almost as crucially is about trusting our own voice. We get a convincing idea, seemingly from the heart, yet later it turns out to have been delusory, some kind of dodge. Or wishful thinking. Recognizing this can help us go deeper into our own motivations. While trust is an important aspect of a close relationship, it would be presumptuous for even a scripture like the Gita to try to escort anyone through it. Perhaps trust is best kept to some extent provisional, because the other person is also variable. Only the supreme ground of existence is worthy of full trust, yet even that is a mystery. You're so right, children are naturally trusting of their parents and dedicated caregivers, and as a therapist you are well aware of the scars this can inflict. The eventual outcome may be permanent loss of the ability to trust, or great difficulty with it. To some extent, that's even necessary. You also know the immense value of a therapist you can truly trust. In a safe enough environment, we may dare to bestow it, and healing is enabled. Your account of the unexpected child is a major moment in learning trust, and it's natural you would be in extreme doubt. I take your husband's patience to mean he respected the immensity of your feelings. Yes, trust is a fragile and complex matter. Like many words, it is trivialized, but here we're preparing for a major life event. A first child would surely qualify where there is going to be little else than trust to help Arjuna get through his shocking experience. Honesty is crucially important to trust, but there are levels of honesty, and we are better off choosing the ones most appropriate to the situation. We could lead with honesty about our best intentions and our love and caring for our partner, more than the details of the hurtful things we did or thought about, as one example. Some honesty pulls us together, while other honesty may drive us apart. You are well aware of the pitfalls, and summarize them compassionately. We have 2 full chapters more to optimize the guru-disciple trust. Realize it's been developing right from the first moment on the battlefield, when Krishna brought Arjuna to the middle of the conflict and had him look at both sides. Soon there was a statement of Arjuna's intent to trust, and ever since it has been forged by careful thinking and good questioning met by good answers. The Gita is a master template for creating trust. Nice paragraph on the basis of existence, Jennifer. Seems like everybody feels they can't address it, it's too vast, and then they do. That's what exercise is all about. I hadn't heard the Heisenberg quote. Good one. So far, we're only being freed of archaic ideas that impede our waking up, so the freely exercise is somewhat premature. There's nothing
póliza. La póliza, que crea la póliza a la cual él pertenece. Y él dijo de ellos. Por lo tanto, no tengo el teléfono. ¿Ok? Pero vamos a probar con algo. Otro cumpleaños. Vamos a ver. El de ley. Ayer fue miércoles. El de ley. ¿Verdad? Ok. Entonces aquí, para mandarle un mensaje, dice.
No tienes el activo para
¿Dónde está? Pero claro, uno desarrollar una tarjeta que tome el nombre. Está bueno, está bueno. Por lo menos tenerlo aquí. Me llegó. Pero yo sé que fíjate, mañana el cumpleaños María del Toro. El sábado, el de Toro.
Porque aquellos fueron los de ayer.
Claro, of what I need to edit. I really have to get ready to go. Pick up the car. That means I have to walk. I have to walk maybe 1, 22 minutes to get to the car.